So it's time for another dash cam upgrade. And I'm going to be upgrading the Viofo A229 Pro dash cam. It's a 2-channel version with the front and rear cameras. I'm going to be upgrading it here to the A329. Now to upgrade it, a lot of the stuff is going to be reusable, but not everything. If we take a look at the dash cams, the camera itself, of course, we're going to have a new front camera here for the A329. The mount is going to be the same, so we can reuse that. The rear camera, this is going to be different, so we're going to have to swap the rear camera and the cable connector here between the front and rear cameras. We're going to have to swap this here as well. Now, I've been planning this upgrade here to the A329, and so for that reason, I actually previously ran the cable here needed for the A329 for when it came out, as well as a second power cable so I can run 2 dash cams here side by side for some A/B testing and some comparison testing. We'll go ahead and peel off the covers here on this rear LCD, as well as the front lens, and then the rear camera lens as well. I'm also going to reinstall the circular polarizer now that we're getting into the sunnier times of the year. Then we can pop the A229 Pro off the quick release mount here like this. We're going to reuse the same existing mount, though we're not going to use the same front to rear cable from before. Instead, I'm going to connect the cable here now for the new rear dash cam, and then we can go ahead and slide it onto the same mount as before, and the dash cam should go ahead and start powering itself back up. We'll go ahead now and start to get the dash cam aimed or so. I like doing this actually on a street to make sure that the horizon is kind of roughly in the center of the frame. Then we'll go ahead and uninstall the previous rear dash cam here that used a USB Type-C cable, and then grab the new cable, which I've actually got tucked back in there. And then back behind the cable here for the rear camera, you can see we've got the cable tucked away now for the new rear camera. And I want to mount the new rear camera in roughly the same spot or so. Turn on Wi-Fi. And now I can install the rear dash cam here and make sure I've got it set up to give it a nice view of everything going on back behind me. I generally do like to aim the rear dash cam down a little bit, so in case maybe somebody rear ends me, I've got a better view of what's going on down back there. And then we can clean up and tuck away our cables. Then we'll reinstall the plastic trim cover here. Then we can update the firmware in the dash cam to get all the latest and greatest software, and then just get all the settings dialed in. I've actually got a dedicated video that goes over all the different settings and options here in the Viofo dash cams. You can check that video out if you like. But some of my favorite things include choosing the resolution that I like. So I'll go ahead and do 4K 60 here now with the A329, and then 2K in the rear. HDR, go ahead and get all my auto HDR stuff set up here. So I like it with HDR off in the daytime and then turning on at night. For the video bitrate, we'll go ahead and crank this up into the max here to get maximum video quality, and then put in a nice big memory card. For parking recording, the 2 ones that I like, either the low bitrate option or the auto event detection for like buffered motion detection and impact detection. I'll fine tune some of the stuff like turning off GPS to save power while parked. I also like to double check that the rear camera is oriented properly. It is possible to install it upside down. And if that happens, that's also just a nice menu option here you can have to actually just flip it upside down if needed. Oh, and one last thing, I do need to actually get the new dash cam here repaired with this new Bluetooth button. So just got to press and hold this button here. And now it looks like we are connected here with the new Bluetooth remote as well. And so that's it for the update process. It was pretty straightforward because of the fact that the front mount we can reuse. And then we'd previously installed the front to rear cable. Special shout out to Ben from Safe Drive Solutions for helping me out with that. I covered that in a previous video as well. A fun fact, we actually had run a Blackview cable for the front to the rear. And it turns out that's also compatible with the A329 as well. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit tougher to plug in, but it still does plug in and does work just fine. And I've actually got not just 1, but 2 copies of the A329. And if you'd like to see maybe a head-to-head test with the 2 different dash cams side by side, maybe comparing one at 30 FPS with the other at 60 FPS, the 60 FPS is maybe the biggest change compared to the A229 Pro. Not super compelling in my opinion, but if you want to see maybe a direct head-to-head comparison, let me know down in the comments, and I can maybe install the other one in the car and take a look at how things work here day and night, HDR on versus HDR off, etc., and really get a better idea as far as how they compare. Other than that, that's a quick look here as far as upgrading the A329 here, well, I guess upgrading the 229 Pro and upgrading it here to the 329. I'll put links down in the description to the different videos that I've talked about, maybe my review of the 329, links to where you can purchase the dash cams, etc. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.